Thanks a lot, Dr. Shukri Mjahed, for this wonderful introduction. Thanks a lot for the Fulbright Commission for giving me the opportunity to go to the United States and have this great experience. I'm going to talk today about my research project which I conducted in the United States, and even I keep working on it after coming from there. It's entitled Unveiling the Veil in Marjane, Satrapi, Persepolis, and Persepolis II and Rajaa, Girls of Riyadh, a Revolutionary Perspective. I'm going to start my research project by a very small quotation by the French philosopher and culture critic Michel Foucault. Michel Foucault, as I stated, he's a famous critic. He is one of the most famous critics who has discussed a lot about the relationship between power and resistance and the different power structures in the community. He says, where there is power, there is resistance, and yet, or rather consequently, this resistance is never in position of exteriority to power. For him, the relationship is interdependent, intertwined, and entangled, and can't be separated. My research project simply and briefly explores the various power structures in the community, starting from governmental institutions, state policies, hierarchical relationships, and inherited cultural norms, inflicted upon Muslim women in two dictatorial regimes. It's a comparative study between the regime and the dictatorship over women in Islamic Republic of Iran and in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And also it focuses on the different tactics, maneuvers these Muslim women resort to as a way of countering these multi-direction sources of power. It focuses on two feminist novels by two female writers. The first one is Persepolis, the story of a childhood. It's a two-volume, and Persepolis II, the story of a return by the Iranian-French novelist Marjane Satrapi. And the second one is Girls of Riyadh by the Saudi writer Rajaa. The two novels are dissected, analyzed, and compared with each other in the light of power and resistance. Regarding what the novel talks about, Satrapi, it's an autobiography. It simply narrates the history of Iran pre and post cultural revolution, which has been transformed afterwards into an Islamic revolution. It also focuses on the eruption of Islamic fundamentalist protests, which have changed the image of the modern Iranian women, which was constituted during the Shah regime, into a very conservative image. Also, it shows the various tactics these women resort to as a way of expressing their refusal to such governing rules, starting from the improper veil, starting from the breaking the rules in the streets, starting from even trying to break the sex segregation policies set by the Iranian regime. In Girls of Riyadh, Issa narrates the stories of four girlfriends: Kamara, Sadim, Michelle, and Lamis. She creates, via an unidentified narrator, a subscribing group on the internet. This narrator represents the image of Shahrazad, but not Shahrazad that we know in the old Arabic literature, that is all the time victimized and oppressed. On the other hand, she is powerful. She is capable of reflecting the image of the modern Saudi women. And she reflects also via the stories of her friends, girlfriends, some of the segregations and some of the power structures optimized inflicted upon Saudi women in the Saudi community, starting from the arranged marriages, the image of the divorcee in the Saudi community, the intergeneration conflicts, not even between the old men or the parents in the family and the younger women, but even between the young females and the old conservative women, and how also they counter these various forms of power. In short, simply, it's a too heavy works of art, but they try to demonstrate and validate the never-ceasing relationship and the everlasting process of power and resistance, that they are interconnected. Regarding the method of approach, it's an interdisciplinary method of approach. The first part of my paper was completely devoted to analyzing the Foucauldian conception of power and resistance. And then the second part, it compares the two works of artists, Satrapi's work of art, graphic memoir, and Girls of Riyadh, in the light of these Foucauldian notions. Even the power is registered on the body of the females, even on the cover of the novels. These parts that is in red, and we see a 18-year-old girl, she is veiled in the black costume. This is taken from Persepolis. And the other one, we see the differences between the dressing of the men and the dressing of the women from the Girls of Riyadh. Even the resistance is not only in the content of the novel, but even in the structure itself. Satrapi, Persepolis, take the form of a graphic memoir, and Rajaa, it takes the form of the emails. Every chapter starts with an email formatting from the date and the subject, in the English version and in the Arabic one. Regarding the activities I conducted by my research project, just 1 minute. I give a presentation, one in UC Berkeley, another one in UCLA, and the last one is a community day conducted by the Fulbright Commission in San Francisco. And thank you so much.